Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving deep inside the human body to meet a single amazing atom. It's a true unsung hero of medicine that's given us this incredible power to see diseases with stunning clarity, saving countless lives along the way. You know, if you've ever had a medical scan, or even just seen one, you've probably wondered, how do they do that? How can doctors pinpoint a problem in our bones, our heart, or our brain with that kind of detail? Well, a huge piece of that magic comes down to one very special atom. And here it is. Meet Technetium-99m. Now I know it's got a pretty complicated name, but what it does, it's genius in its simplicity. It's a tiny radioactive tracer that we introduce into the body, and it basically acts like a biological flashlight, lighting up specific areas for a special camera to see. All right, here's the plan. We'll start with why this atom is such a superstar. Then we'll check out the amazing little factory that makes it. After that, we'll see how we dress it up to target specific organs. And we'll finish by looking at the future, a future where we can see and treat disease with its atomic level precision. Okay, so first up, what makes this stuff, Technetium-99m, or TC99m for short, the absolute best tool for the job? Well, in the world of nuclear medicine, it's famous. It's known as the Goldilocks isotope, because pretty much everything about it is just right. But before we get into why it's so perfect, let's just quickly break down that name. An isotope just means it's a version of an element with a different number of neutrons. Simple enough. And that little M in TC99m, that stands for metastable. The best way to think about it is like a spring that's been coiled up super tight. It's just buzzing with energy, ready to release it. And that burst of energy, that's exactly what our cameras are looking for. And this is why it's the Goldilocks. Check this out. Its half-life? A perfect 6 hours. That's long enough for a doctor to get the whole scan done, but short enough that it doesn't stick around in your body, which really limits the radiation dose. The energy it gives off is a pure gamma ray, the perfect signal for our cameras to get a super clear picture. And maybe most importantly, it doesn't give off any other nasty cell-damaging particles. It's just a clean signal, making it incredibly safe for patients. So just how big of a deal is this little atom? Get this, over 80%. That's right, more than 80% of all diagnostic nuclear medicine procedures rely on Technetium-99m. We're talking tens of millions of scans every single year, all around the world. It is without a doubt the undisputed king of medical imaging. Okay, but wait a second. If it only lasts for 6 hours, how on earth do you get it to a hospital when they need it? You can't exactly stock it on a shelf or ship it overnight. The answer is just brilliant. It's a system that brings the isotope factory right into the hospital's pharmacy. And that system is called a radionuclide generator. It's this self-contained little device that solves the half-life problem in a really clever way. It uses a long-lived parent atom to constantly create the short-lived daughter atom that we actually need, right there, on demand. And here's the magic couple that makes it all happen. The parent is molybdenum-99. It has a nice, convenient half-life of 66 hours. As it sits there and naturally decays, what does it turn into? You guessed it, our superstar daughter, Technetium-99m, with its perfect 6-hour half-life. This device has an amazing nickname, the Radiopharmaceutical cow. And here's why. Inside the generator, the molybdenum-99 parent is fixed to a column. It's constantly producing Tech-99m. So every morning, a technician comes in to milk the cow. They simply wash a sterile saline solution through it. The saline is designed to selectively grab the daughter, Tech-99m, but it leaves the parent molybdenum behind to keep generating more for the next day. What comes out the other end is a vial of pure, ready-to-use Tech-99m. It's incredible. Now here's a really important detail. Not all molybdenum-99 is the same. The really potent stuff you need for these generators, sometimes called fission moly, can only be made in a handful of highly specialized nuclear reactors in the entire world. There are other ways to make it, sure, but the result is a much weaker version that just doesn't work. And that means the global supply chain for this vital medical isotope is, well, it's surprisingly fragile. Okay, so the hospital has its fresh vial of Tech-99m. Now what? How does this atom know if it's supposed to go to your bones, or your heart, or your brain? The truth is, on its own, it doesn't have a clue. We have to give it a guide. We have to attach it to a special molecule that works like a biological GPS. And that combination, the atom and its guide, is what we call a radiopharmaceutical. You've got the radio part, our glowing technetium atom, and the pharmaceutical part, which is this clever molecule that the body already knows how to send to a specific place. The technetium atom is really just hitching a ride. And you know what's wild? Preparing this stuff is almost like a just add water recipe. The hospital pharmacy gets these little vials called kits. Each kit has the specific guide molecule for, say, a bone scan or a heart scan. A technologist just takes the fresh technetium from the generator, injects it into the kit, gives it a swirl, and that's it. Within minutes, the technetium latches on, and it's ready for the patient. And this is where the versatility just explodes. By just grabbing a different kit, basically putting the technetium in a different outfit, you can send it almost anywhere in the body. You want a bone scan? Use the MDP kit. A brain scan? You grab the HMPO kit. Heart, kidneys, lungs, there's a specific outfit for each job. It's the exact same radioactive atom, just dressed for a different destination. But here's one of the most fascinating things about all of this. We have been using some of these combinations for more than 30 years. They are proven, they are safe, they work incredibly well. And yet, get this. This is a quote from a major textbook on the subject. It is remarkable that the chemical structures of these classical technetium pharmaceuticals are still not known. We know that it works, but for some of these, we still don't know the exact chemistry of how it works. Isn't that wild? So this core idea of attaching a payload to a guiding molecule, it's so powerful that it's no longer just for taking pictures. It's actually opening up a whole new frontier in medicine. We're talking about the ability to not just see a disease, but to use the very same idea to treat it. And that brings us to Diagnostics. It's a mashup of therapy and diagnostics, and it's built on one beautiful logical idea. If you can see it, you can treat it. If you can make a molecule that guides a tiny camera atom to a cancer cell, why can't you use that exact same molecule to guide a tiny killer atom to it instead? This is a total game changer. The old way was using something like technetium to simply find the problem. The theranostic approach is so much smarter. First, you use a diagnostic scan to confirm that a patient's specific cancer has the right molecular door for your guide to enter. If it does, great. Then, you bring in the exact same guide molecule, but this time, you've swapped its payload from a diagnostic atom to a therapeutic one. You go from finding the problem to fixing it. It turns treatment into this incredibly personalized one-two punch. Step 1 is the diagnosis. You give the patient a scan to see if their tumor lights up. Does it have the target? Yes? Perfect. Now for step 2, the treatment. You give them the exact same guiding molecule, but this time it's carrying a powerful cell-killing isotope that delivers a tiny targeted dose of radiation right where it needs to go, while leaving most of the healthy tissue alone. And just to be clear, this isn't some far-off science fiction. This is happening in clinics today. The field is called targeted radiotherapy, or TRT, and it is absolutely revolutionizing how we think about personalized cancer treatment. And the goal of all of this really is pretty straightforward. You want to maximize the amount of drug that gets into the tumor. You want to minimize the amount that goes anywhere else. And by doing that, you maximize the treatment's effectiveness. It's about being smarter, more precise, and ultimately more powerful. So let's wrap up with this one thought. We started with the basic physics of a single superstar atom, and we've ended up on this incredible new frontier. And it all boils down to this question. What if a single type of molecule could be both the scout that finds the disease and the soldier that fights it? That's the power and the incredible promise of nuclear medicine. A future that in many ways is already here.